Welcome to the Cannabis Equipment News Podcast.
Hi, I'm David Manti, and welcome to a new episode of the Cannabis Equipment News Podcast. With me this week is Jonathan Bohun, founder and CEO of Weedar. Thank you very much for joining me today, Jonathan.
Hey, David. Thank you very much for having me.
Excellent. Well, before we get started, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. You can also help us out a lot by leaving the podcast a positive review on whatever platform you use. If you want to email the podcast, you can reach me at david@cannabisequipmentnews.com with email the podcast in the subject line. You can also subscribe to our daily newsletter and make sure you get it delivered to your inbox first. Jonathan, I'd like to start by learning a little bit about everyone's personal journey to the industry. So, what was it that brought you to cannabis?
I was born in Ukraine, and 9 years ago I moved to California from coastal city of Ukraine called Odessa. Back in Ukraine, my day-to-day was software development, and when I got here, I realized cannabis industry that's one among very few that doesn't need that much of marketing, because almost every movie and song right now and trying to mention cannabis. So I decided that cannabis will be my next industry to start in California. And 9 years ago, I started working in a dispensary in Reseda. That's how my journey started.
So how do you go from software development to, and working at the dispensary, you were a delivery guy at first, right?
Yep.
So how did the transition go from where you decide to leave software development and, all of a sudden you're delivering cannabis?
It wasn't easy, and it was a learning curve. And at the same time, it was really my passion, to make sure people have access to flower and, kind of break the stigma that cannabis is a drug. And I saw opportunity in the industry, and my skills from a software helped me to become from a delivery driver to grow to manager and eventually have my own license, my own brands and work. And right now it's merged into software for cannabis. So two of my passions right now, that's my day-to-day.
Oh, so you have some of your own brands. Do you grow and market those brands, or are those for your own personal use?
No, we sell it in our store. That's still called Infinity Medical Alliance, and our house brand called Paris. So we sell it in the store. We're really big in Washington State, selling more than 200 stores over there. We grow, we distribute, we sell in retail.
Okay. And that side of the business is called Infinity?
Yeah, that's what's the license called.
Oh, okay. So how do you go from Infinity, actually leading up to Infinity, was it the experience that you had delivering cannabis? Did you realize an opportunity where you could kind of grow and start your own shop?
It was really natural because, well known, right? America is a land of opportunities. So if you show really good work ethic and you have good work practice, it just naturally brings you up, and people start noticing you, start trust you more, and you have chance to prove yourself. So I started as a delivery person, became a manager, and step by step became an owner of a license.
How would you describe your work ethic?
Honest truth and love. I think that's two cornerstones that I'm building my work ethic on. I'm trying to be transparent with all my partners, and if it's on me to deliver, I will deliver. And if I cannot deliver, I'll always make sure everybody knows that there is an issue and we need to work on that together to make something happen.
So how did you come up with the idea for Weedar?
Being a manager in a store, I just realized like there is hundreds of thousands of people that spend on the cannabis monthly more than $200-300, and I realized there is no such loyalty program for them to really follow their brands, because most of the loyalties right now they attach to a location. So it doesn't matter what brand you buy, you don't have uh, you don't have opportunity to reach brand back or earn any pro points from a certain brand. And from my experience, a lot of people who spend like more than a couple hundreds a month on cannabis, they are loyal to certain brands. So with that in mind, we started working on Widar to bring tools for brands for customer loyalty and retention, and at the same time to kind of show customer that there is could be more interesting experience with your favorite brand, with the packaging of the brand. You can interact with the brand, you can receive something from a brand if you stay loyal.
Do you use Weedar for your own brands that you create?
We partner up with some brand here in California, and yes, we use Widar for our store. We use Widar for our Paris brand.
Mm. Have you noticed higher customer retention using it?
I don't have actual number right now, and yes, there is definitely people more involved. We're working on a project for about 2 years now, so it was a lot of things that we thought would work, and in reality, it doesn't. So I would say today we build a pretty understandable flow for customer. We kind of overcome all the hard part where customer like not going through, and customer retention really went up. And finally, we have a tool to talk to customer back. Like right now, we understand what customer bought what product at what region. Like it doesn't matter if it orders through delivery or you bought it in the store, because it has a QR code that you can scan, you can redeem your points, etc.
So is it a service that the brands subscribe to or purchase, or is it a dispensary that brings on the service?
This is a tool for brands.
Okay.
There are other tools for dispensaries to run their loyalty program, and pretty much every POS system has like simple version of a loyalty program. So we are focusing on brands because that's what industry liking right now.
So part of it, you said that it works by tracking the QR codes on the packaging. Part of it is that you earn NFTs. So do you see a lot of crossover there between cannabis consumers and people that sort of desire NFTs?
That's a really good question, and I'm glad you asked that. So NFTs, we don't sell actual NFTs. We see NFT as a technology that we can utilize, basically show a proof of purchase. Think about it as a receipt, and every customer of Widar receives all the NFTs for free. You don't need to, like, it's not necessary you need to have your MetaMask wallet. You have opportunity to withdraw it, and at the very beginning, it's just attached to your Widar profile. So we're kind of eliminating a step. There, a lot of brands are trying, like, if you ever try to receive an NFT, this kind of struggle. You need to install MetaMask, create your wallet, et cetera, et cetera. So for most of the people, still, it's very complicated, and we don't see a mass adoption of the crypto wallets yet. So we eliminated this step, and as a customer with you can get a free NFT if you purchase a collectible drops. So each brand that we onboard on the platform, we're doing the collectibles where we find the artist that collaborates with a brand, and we're doing limited drops, for example, like 1,000 or 5,000 jars. that's never going to repeat itself, where artists and influencers heavily involved in the developing of packaging. We build augmented reality experience around that packaging. And when you buy collectibles, you're receiving a free NFT. And out of those NFTs, you are able either exchange it for a store credit, for brand credit, or you can collect those to open different perks on the platform.
Okay. Have you seen rising customer acquisition costs?
For the brand?
Yeah.
I think we got to the point where we have a stable quality and consistent quality of flower and product on the market. I think on average, top shelf flower right now hits like low 30s, mid 30s in THC, and from 3 to 6% in terpenes. There is a certain point where like flower almost cannot be better, right? So at this point, it starts how you really interact with your customer. Customer needs a story. Customer that's ready to spend a couple $100 a month. He wants to be involved in a brand, with a brand. He wants to be involved, and he wants to kind of have opportunity to talk back to brand. So that's what we're giving the customer.
So you're mentioning some of the things that are, show the real importance of having these loyalty programs. Is it that when you have this dialogue between the brand and the customer, that does it build a stronger brand loyalty?
I believe so. Yeah. We're doing right now case studies, one in California and another one in Washington, that we'll be ready to present this summer, how it's really going to affect your brand with numbers. As I mentioned before, my approach to the business, it's honesty and transparency. I'm pretty transparent about what we're doing and what it really brings to brands. And we're working on a case study to just show it. We don't need a favor. We want opportunity to just prove ourselves and show to the brand that it works. And right now, we have a free entrance for brands for this year, where a brand pays only for the actual cost of QR code production. So there is no subscription fee, nothing like that. We want to make sure it works properly, and we're pretty transparent about it.
Okay. And so once you have a brand loyalty program, you purchase something from the brand, you get an NFT that you can use in either exchange for additional loyalty programs or loyalty points. Is it riskier for brands when they have such fierce and loyal customers? Does a brand need to be more careful when it comes to the quality of the product that they come out and how they sort of operate their business, just to make sure they kind of maintain that trust?
Quality, of course, this is very important. That's the first glance at the brand, right? Like when you try it, you get if you're not enjoying the product, you're not gonna buy it. Doesn't matter what kind of packaging is that. So of course, they have to maintain quality at least as they have right now, and work in their way how to improve it. And our goal to really build experience around it with augmented reality, with NFTs and other technologies.
Can you tell me about some of the work that you've done with the Kushtok Festival and then the Green Street Festival?
Yes. Last year, we built an app. It's like treasure hunt game, where for main sponsors of the event, you as an attendee, as a guest of the event, you was able to scout from one main sponsor to another. How it works for the actual festival, we want to make sure that more of the guests, they're really paying attention to main sponsors, right? That's why sponsor pays money for it. So we built a treasure hunt game where in augmented reality you're walking around the event and you finding Eastern eggs, so called, right? Like different QR codes or images that you can scan. When you scan all of it, you receive a present at the end. It's pretty simple. It's kind of like Pokemon Go style.
Mm-hmm.
That's the same that we built. We built it for 20 events this year for Green Street, and we've been a member of Green Street like a little bit over a year now. Just a little projects for us to show that augmented reality slowly becoming more adopted, by companies, by customers. Finally, we at the age where internet speed and devices performance is good enough to have enjoyable augmented reality experience. So I believe like it happened like at the moment where when Apple released their LiDAR function, if you know what is LiDAR is in your camera when it's measuring the depth of an image.
Mm-hmm.
So at that point, can the AR game begun? And Google and Apple building really strong augmented reality development environments, and we're gonna see like more and more brands looking in that direction. Starting from a basic stuff like a treasure hunt, playing with the packaging.
No, I understand the treasure hunt. Did you have a lot of people participate in that at the festival?
We have about 100 people that download the app at the festival. Another problem that usually when there is a lot of people, the internet speed goes down. And this kind of issue when you want people to install the app at the event, because if there is a couple thousand people trying to download something at one moment of a time, usually like it's really slow. I think that's one of the reasons why we didn't get like more people playing the game. So I would say from event to event is about 100 people that interested, that ready to dive in and try it.
Is it something that you think could be a potentially useful tool for industry trade shows?
I believe so. Yeah, we're working right now. Hopefully this year we will build a full app for a champs show. And we talked to some other trade shows just to showing them opportunity. And again, because of the internet speed, so the issue that we're working on, we need attendees to install app before. So if it's becoming not just an addition to the festival, but actual app of the festival, it's way easier, and we're on the track to bring it to some businesses here in California.
When offering an NFT, essentially a piece of digital art, do brands need to be more aware or invested in the packaging and design that goes into their products, just so it's something that people are appealed to collecting as a digital token?
Yes and no. What I believe in with augmented reality, we really can build a sustainable model and save money and effort on the physical packaging and spend more time and pay more attention on the digital packaging. It could look like a white box with like a little QR code on it, and when you see it in augmented reality, it's all like colorful. I don't know, there are like characters playing around it. In terms of kind of care of a mother nature and looking for sustainable and reliable production, I think we should be more focusing on the digital packaging than on a physical packaging, because people are going to throw it away. They're going to go to just junk eventually. And digital, you can keep it. It doesn't require paper to produce. It doesn't require plastic and stuff.
No, that's
answer the question.
Yeah, that's an interesting
So I see it
point.
more focusing. I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, I think that's a really interesting point in terms of saving money and effort by having almost minimalist packaging that is then completely digital. I can definitely see that, and I could see the appeal, particularly in this industry.
Yeah, because like packaging is very colorful right now. If you go to dispensary, especially in California, you see tons of brands, that trying to catch an eye of a customer,
Mm.
and eventually just go to trash. That's also one of the things that we considered when we built the Widor and we build augmented reality. I'm just really upset when I see all the beauty goes to trash. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. No, absolutely. So, kind of looking at the cannabis industry overall, you've had experience in multiple parts of it. What would you say are the most in-demand skills right now when it comes to the cannabis industry? Workers looking to be in the industry, needing to get the necessary training or skills. What are the most in-demand skills?
I would say sales. If you're a good salesperson, you can make 6 figures in the industry without having your own business. Cultivation is a big part of it. And it requires more time to be a real and good grower. So I would say for people who wants to transition from other industries, sales, that will be the entry point.
Okay. And that makes sense. You were in the industry during the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic. How would you say the pandemic changed the industry? And do you ever see it going back to the way it was?
I think when pandemic hit, into this cannabis industry was one of the few that benefit of the pandemic because people were stressed and we saw an increase in the consumption, especially in cannabis product. I think most of the stores saw an increase of people, increase in customers. And is it going back? I don't think so. No, I don't think so. I think this is still gonna grow. Right now, it's kind of plateau right now, so we don't see that a big of a numbers on the monthly increase. And from month to month, we see stable growth.
What kind of role could augmented reality play in the cannabis industry?
I wouldn't separate cannabis industry for any other industry. I see augmented reality as a transition for like people to use the virtual reality. And while a lot of companies working on metaverse and different virtual realities, augmented reality will. I see it as a transition, and again, instead of spending money on a lot of packaging or advertisement, you can do all of it digital, and it's gonna benefit and affect not only cannabis but like most of the industries that we're gonna see.
A lot of this kind of ties in with the quote gamification of society. As in your opinion, is it good that we're gamifying our culture?
I think gamification is a part of our nature. That's how we learn. That's how we enjoy. And it's very important not to mix games in gamification. I see nothing wrong in gamification of the process and customer more involved. At the same time, you have to be very careful, because you're playing with the customer attention. So you have to keep it in a point where it's interesting and still customer makes their own decision. You know what I mean? So you don't push them to make a certain decisions, and at the same time, it's enjoyable to use your product.
Could this be the future of e-commerce for cannabis, where people shop in a 3D augmented reality and then have the product delivered?
The actual shopping experience in augmented reality, it's a very controversial topic because most of the augmented reality that we're going to see today they require like certain space for you to really use it. And it was a path that we started about 2 years ago, and we had to cancel that idea. And right now, the augmented reality that we build in it, it's so-called couch augmented reality. So you don't have to walk around your room with it. You just walking in it. You're just looking at it with your device sitting on your couch, and it doesn't matter how much room you have around you. So I think, yes, augmented reality would be part of e-commerce experience for cannabis industry, where because you can open the product, you can see how it looks inside. It is really tied to how, like, one of the things that pandemic changed before that, you were able to open the packaging at the store and see how it looks inside, like smell the flower. It's not like that anymore, especially here in California. So in augmented reality, you can open the packaging, you can see how it looks inside, you can see, like, if it's pre-roll, what kind of pre-roll is that? If it's cartridge, you see what kind of cartridge is that, what concentrate is that. So in terms of playing with the packaging, I think augmented reality really changing it already. And yeah, it's going to be part of the future e-commerce for cannabis industry.
How long until we can smell it in augmented reality?
That's a good question, and a lot of people ask that. I think there is a company in Japan that working on a solution. They're mixing different different chemicals to create a certain smell. Hopefully, in the next couple of years. Not my forte.
Okay. Speaking of the next couple of years, what are your expectations or predictions for federal legalization, and what sort of changes do you think we'll see in the industry as a result?
No prediction from me on that. We're all kind of waiting and hoping it's going to happen sooner than later. What is going to change? We're going to see a lot more money being poured into the industry, and we're going to see a lot of smaller players being either buy out or just kicked out of the game. I think consolidation of the market, that will be number one. Like that's what's going to happen. Like number one, because big companies will have enough money to consolidate. You know, like, and let's say right now we have like a couple hundreds brands of flower. It's going to be like 20 or 50, and federal legalization definitely gonna affect that big time.
You'd mentioned at the beginning of this that you were born in Ukraine. How has it been navigating your business and as an entrepreneur with everything that's kind of going on over there?
So when the war started, it was, I would say it was the hardest part for my business, because my developers team was in Ukraine at that time, and we had to relocate them. And for more than 2 months, we kind of put everything on pause. It was no development. It was a lot of struggle with relocating people, helping their families. Right now, we're past that. And of course, we're helping Ukraine in every way we can. And we're hoping for war to end as soon as possible. We had to fully take out our team out of there and help them to start new life in different countries all around the world. If it answers your question.
How many people did you have to relocate?
was 12 people at the time.
Oh, wow. Okay. I mean, I got to imagine that when the war started, that, your priorities shift in terms of keeping your people safe.
Yeah, from working on the product to really taking care of people mental and mental condition, and helps their families, their pets, let's say. It wasn't easy, and at the same time we didn't have time to stress. We're laser focused to just, okay, we have to do this, and we'll stress later.
Talking about the Infinity side of the business, do you have any expectations as to how you plan to expand that part of it?
My personal focus right now, to move more on the software side. I see it more scalable. We're definitely going to work in the retail and develop our business here in California, offline business. And I would say we'll be heavily focusing to mostly expand and grow online business and software.
Okay. On the software side of things, what can the Cannabis Equipment News audience, expect from you guys in the near future?
We're working on a really cool device. We are, I would say, in a good way, we're trying to reinvent the stash box, the place where you're keeping your stash. So we're building an affordable device where it's not just a box, but it's device that track what do you have in there, that have a lot of augmented reality around it. You would be able to flex with it with your friends. It's not going to look like a shoebox or something like that. So working on a affordable device that will be presented this summer, and customer will be able to order it this summer.
Very cool. Well, is there anything else that we might have left out, or anything in particular you want to make sure the CEN audience knows either about yourself or your business?
You were really good informed about what we're doing, and I'm thankful for the conversation. What I want to say to the audience is follow your passion, and if you spend money on cannabis, do it wise. Do it with the brands that offer a loyalty program, and you can benefit from spending your money. And Widar, that's a tool for it.
Okay.
Excellent. You can buy cannabis anywhere, and if you buy it with Widar, you can make some money and you can benefit from it.
Excellent. Well, thank you again for taking the time. I really do appreciate it.
Thanks, David. Thanks. Enjoy.
All right. Well, before we get out of here, please make sure to like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. You can also help us out a lot by leaving us a positive review on whatever platform you listen to us on. If you want to email the podcast, you can reach me at david@cannabisequipmentnews.com with email the podcast in the subject line. You can also subscribe to our daily newsletter and make sure that you receive it in your inbox first. For Jonathan Bohun, founder and CEO of Widar, I'm David Manti. This is the Cannabis Equipment News Podcast. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for listening to the Cannabis Equipment News Podcast.